Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Discovery Plus Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Discovery Plus Christmas movies.
I'm Alonzo, and I say down with all bosses, including cake. And this
is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Alonzo, that intro was top notch. You're the ace of cakes of intros, I would say.
And a better actor than him, I hope.
No way, not than Duff.
Duff?
Don't you say a word bad about
Don't
Duff.
you do it.
Oh, God. See, now, here's the thing. You guys, you picked the Discovery Plus Christmas movie, but heaven forbid you pick the one that I already saw. No. I had to dig into this again with this crazy network.
Here's what I want to
So
know.
you had seen this already?
No. I watched the Napiers
do
theirs, which was nutty because that was a movie. They shaped the entire movie like an episode of Hometown with like
Oh my gosh.
the animated. Here's what we might do with the room, and then the walkthrough at the end. It was it was so on brand. I couldn't believe it.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Did it feel like a movie?
Ish. I mean,
It just felt like a long episode.
Well, I mean, they weren't in it a ton. They just like with Mr.
Okay.
Cake here. They just kind of pop in and out. But
Mr. Cake.
it was just all very strange.
Yeah,
Here's
they
what I
should
want
call
to
him
know, and
Mr.
I wish
Cake.
I wish we had someone from the Discovery Network here. Is it worth it? Is this moving the needle for them when it comes to the Discovery Plus subscriptions? I know there was talk of a merger between Discovery Plus and HBO Max, and I think that
It's happening. No,
Is it happening?
That's
Wow.
still on. Yes, that is why HBO Max is so terrible now with things disappearing and Batgirl never getting released.
And it was.
But I
it
thought
was-
I heard that Discovery Plus is still going to operate on as its own thing, but some Discovery content will end up on. It's all very.
The companies are merging. They may still exist as separate streaming entities, but they're all one big megacorp.
HBO
Great.
Max.
We need more of them.
HBO
Oh,
Max
for sure.
just shows us why we can't have nice things. Because before all this, it was maybe my favorite streaming service. It had so much good stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
aside from Philo,
Yeah,
I think it would go
live TV.
Right.
Philo would be one.
Yeah, Philo
obviously.
TV/DTH.
Yeah,
because you got us, you've got Hallmark,
you got
Lifetime,
live TV.
you've
there.
got so
HBO
much
Max didn't have that.
amazing content.
Of
for
course.
us. Amazing
Yeah,
content.
of course.
Once you watch the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of Deck the Homework that's available on Philo, maybe you'll have time for The Last of Us. Maybe,
But not
maybe,
children.
maybe.
We're pretty like nuanced. You may need 2 viewings for us.
And here's what here's what I'll say. We haven't done zombies yet.
That's right.
But that doesn't mean we never would have zombies come in. We're
And
not saying that.
You have to pay for a special tier to hear Alonzo and I break down Last of Us. I don't know what tier that is, but Alonzo, since I don't have you then, last week's episode is the first time I did actively want someone to die. In Last of
Yes,
Us.
right?
It was the first time that I was like, all the heartbreak we've had to go through, I actually want this one. Like, let's go. Let's do this one. Yes.
I'm currently recapping Last of Us and The Mandalorian for breakfast all day. So I kind of feel like this is the only show that I watch that doesn't have Pedro Pascal in it.
That's true. Yeah. I'm glad we can help.
Not
you.
against it though. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
if he
If
wants
he
to come and do one of these
yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Pedro Pascal in a Hallmark Christmas movie?
he can do it.
That'd be unbelievable.
That guy is
Don't
that
tease
guy's
me with a good time.
adorable. I just was watching his Hot Ones. I haven't finished it yet, but he was on the Hot Ones. When are they gonna get us on? The
I
Hot
don't know.
Ones?
I would do that.
I think he would do well.
We would have a lot of fun on
Yeah.
that show.
Y'all
I
would
don't
beat the clock, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of not moving the needle, I think that's probably they haven't had us
Yeah,
on.
that might
You
be part of the reason. Dan and I once went to a wing place in town. Quaker Steak and Lube
That's
is
right.
the name of the restaurant
That's the
that
actual
they
name of the
went
restaurant.
with. And they said, "Do you want the hot one? What do you want?"
We did the challenge. Me, you, and Panda. We all did the challenge, the whole waiver thing, and
give us the hottest thing you got.
and we all just tried one. Is what we
Yes.
did, and it was tough.
It's
Like
crazy hot.
I had heartburn, indigestion for a full day. But the best part about this is we asked them for milk. We like, can we get a glass of milk? And the server was like, dude, that's an urban legend. You do not want milk. You actually want soda. And our mouths are burning. And so in our delirium, we were like, fine, just bring us
Listen,
whatever.
the guy who's making minimum wage, maybe he knows.
He probably
He knows what's
we're
best
still
for
not
us.
sure if it was a bit
Yeah.
or not. But
I'm convinced he was pulling a fast one on us.
he
and
literally
he knew it.
stopped and he goes, I've seen people drink milk 100 times do this. You don't want milk, you want soda. And I think he was just mean to be mean. I think he wakes up laughing in the morning. Like, I think he wakes up, he's like, I'm going to tell these guys that it's soda, because we just swished it all around there, man. Like, it was bad.
The hot wing is the injury, and then the no milk is the insult.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. He got us.
He knew what he was
Good
doing.
job, Drake, or whatever your name was. Like, good job, buddy. You got us. We're not mad about it.
No.
That was 10 years ago. We're not
Cracker
mad
steak
about it.
and
at all.
lube.
That's right.
And lube.
Bring me the lube then, if that's what it takes.
That's right.
Listen, it was lube an option. They didn't even offer it.
Good God.
It's on
They
the
didn't offer
menu.
us the lube. They didn't offer it. Gosh. Do it again. We're talking about A Gingerbread Christmas. We've seen a handful of gingerbread movies in our
Gingerbread
day.
Romance?
Well, is this one
Yep.
gonna? Is this gonna be the one? Let's find out. It originally
Makes me
aired on
wanna be the one.
Discovery Plus on November
Discovering Plus.
November 11th, 2022, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with one heck of a baking montage. I got to be honest, possibly a highlight of the movie. We meet Hazel, that loves this banana loaf at this bakery, going nuts over this banana loaf. Because it's a bakery, I think they're legally obligated to have Food Network on the TVs. And so she finds herself watching Food Network in passing, as most people do. And Duff is there. And Duff is talking about a gingerbread competition that's happening with a prize of $100,000. And this is the news that makes her drop her banana loaf. Can't believe it. This is amazing. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, then she must be a baker. She's so excited about this prize money. She must be a baker. No. She's a consultant that is looking to become a real deal architect, but as of now, is just consulting on projects. She is up for this job, and she doesn't get it. A punk does. A real punk. So she goes home early for Christmas, as you do. And she finds out that her dad's bakery, is going under, and thinks that a large part of this, a large part of this is the fact that there is a bakery that opened up basically across the street, and it is bumping.
The Ace of Cakes.
Bumping. No, not this one. So she comes up with an idea. We got to win the gingerbread house competition. 100 large. Now, her dad hired a guy named James to come in and help the bakery. The bakery, some might argue that the reason why it doesn't well is because of the bakery across the street. Others might argue is because the kitchen is a disaster zone. So James is here to fix everything and put things back on the wall and whatnot. And he starts baking gingerbread, or actually he's baking cookies to prove that he can bake gingerbread. And so while doing this, he's making intense eyes at Hazel. He's kneading dough and is just looking at her like, whoa, what do you think about this, huh? What do you think about this? Just a little spinny. Turns out James can cook. James can
bake.
cook.
We know that.
He can bake.
Yeah.
He can bake if
It's
he
a
wants
difference.
to. I'm sorry. I didn't
baking
mean
is
cook.
a science. Cooking is an art. Do you know that?
So bakers can't be artists?
Cooking, yeah, they can be, but cooking, it's I'm going to throw a little of this in, a little of that. And baking is how perfectly consistent can I get this?
That's Dan at decktohomework.com. All the
Bring it.
bakers,
Baking
bakers
is
can
a science.
email.
That is not an insult to either one.
Bakers, you're not creative at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Scientists are creative. Baking's a science. Cooking's an art. I'm serious. Alonzo's a great baker, so I've heard. It's a science.
I just wish you
soft science.
I just wish you were an artist.
Clearly.
He's not an artist. He's a
Dan
film critic.
at DeckTheHallmark.com.
Film critics can't be artists. We all know that. They're soulless.
Film critics are like are
We're everything wrong with cinema, according to Seth Rogen. But
Yeah, that's right. Topical.
Did he say that?
He did.
yeah, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah, yesterday. He did.
Interesting.
Said it hurts his feelings.
Oh, but
I know.
even when he's as high as he is.
All the time.
Wow.
He's literally never done a job not high. And he's like, my feelings are hurt by the critics.
Maybe don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, they decide that they're going to enter the
I'm just saying
competition.
baking's a science. That's all I'm saying.
They decide they're going to enter the contest, and guess who else is going to enter the contest?
Shady across the street bakery.
That's exactly right. The Shady Across the Street Bakery. Now they start to wonder, what should we do? What's going to be our big gingerbread thing? And so they come up with City Hall. now, here's what you might be
That's how
wondering.
you know it's a science, not an art, right there.
This sounds like it's going to take. This sounds like it's going to take a long time. It sounds like it's going to take be a lot of hard work. And in fact, it's not at all. It's actually relatively easy. Turns out wonderful right out of the gate. But in the heat of battle,
It was the heat of the moment.
accidentally knocks the taller part of the clock tower off of the gingerbread house. So now what? Well, she starts talking to the bakery across the street because they went to high school rivals.
One stole
We
the
all
other.
have them.
Yeah.
We all have a high school rival.
Brandon Kaiser.
Shout out to Brandon Kaiser, my guy. And so Brandon Kaiser and her, they're having a conversation, and they patch things up, and they decide.
There's one word you could use to describe Brandon Kaiser. What would it be?
What did I say the other day? Was it a naughty? Yeah. I'm sure he's a great dude now.
Okay.
I have no doubts he's a great dude now. They fix it. And yay for everyone. So they go and while all of this is happening, I know you might be wondering, is there a romance going on? Yeah, sure, it's happening. They wheel their city hall into the competition. Duff is there.
Yeah, he is.
Duff is duffing the heck out of everything.
Duff him.
And, we're looking around, and there's a lot of nice gingerbread houses. There's a lot of nice ones. Are they going to be able to win? The answer is no. They're not going to be able to win. But they're hot shot deal makers.
Hot shot deal makers.
Apparently, there's some buzz about them. They're going to be there's TV involved.
Man, big deal.
And so it turns
Never
out
has being a loser been so great.
I know. So it turns out everybody is a big fan of this competition and of watching them on TV. Lines are beginning to form outside the door, and there's a book deal involved at some point. And Hazel and James kiss. And that, my friends, was a gingerbread Christmas.
We
Felt
did.
like it was a little
Yeah, that was a
movement, but we'll move it back in post. No one's even gonna know.
Before we move on, I can barely see the chat from here, but it only says Facebook user. But someone says Dan is correct. If you don't put the right measurements, it's probably not going to.
We'll be right
bake
back here on
correctly.
Deck the Hallmark.
And that person's my favorite. I don't know who it is.
Well, hello, bakers and cooks.
That's right.
All are
Scientists and
welcome
artists.
here.
That's right.
Welcome to
We
our
need
podcast.
left and right brain people. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
It takes all of us.
Let's Alonzo. Let's start with you, Alonzo. We're gonna start with a hot take. We're gonna go to you first. What'd you
Lisa
think?
Ferrone, love you.
What'd you think about this Gingerbread Christmas movie?
Well, first of all, art can be science. Read a book, Daniel.
Yes, of course it can.
Well, then
Science can
it's
be
not,
art.
It's not an either or. It's a both and sitch. Okay. Sheesh.
No,
What
not
are
to
you?
make it
Why?
taste good. It's
Why
not.
are you delineating?
Not to make it taste good. You want to make your baked goods look good. Okay. To make it taste good, it's a science.
I'm just saying you can do both. Like the people who make art out of
I'm not saying it's binary. I'm saying to be a good baker takes a much more of a
okay, but you were like and it's all of it. Baking is all of it.
science.
It's art and a science.
baking's a science, cooking's an art. I got it. Good.
Stop talking. I think.
I just want on the record.
Cook or bake anything and then come back to me on this one.
Oh,
That's
got
right.
him.
Listen,
Got him.
How about that?
Put it on the vlog. Vlog number 4 is coming out soon, guys.
look out for that vlog.
We've been
Vlogs 1
waiting.
through 3.
He
My,
was supposed
my
to do a
my
fruitcake.
subscription is like, full of dust at this point, wondering when another vlog is going to happen. This movie is old Hallmark in not the best way. It is, it feels like it was written by an AI program, Failing Bakery and the childhood rivalry and the blah, blah, blah. It is also one of those movies that you would see on old Hallmark, not so much on new Hallmark, where, hey, we have cast people of color, but we have written them to be like the usual boring white people. Like there is no, like if a South Asian family owns a bakery,
Yep.
there's going to be some hint of South Asian like flavors and cooking and,
Bingo.
recipes in the bakery. Like the white guy mentions cardamom once and that's it. And so it feels to me like they just took the usual script and tried to jazz it up with some people of color, but didn't bother to write anything specific for that community. But so often especially when we talk about old Hallmark, these do kind of come down to like, how are the leads? And the leads are pretty good in this. Like, they both come to this with a lot of experience. She was on Good Place. He was on Degrassi. And they've got like really good chemistry and he's super adorable. So
that's where we knew him from. Degrassi.
Of course.
So that carries a lot of weight. But other than that, this is like, there's a, get ready for the cavalcade of Wait What's. And, all of these Discovery Plus movies, this is now 2 that I've seen, feel really weirdly branded where they're going to like throw in this host from one of their other networks, be it, HGTV or Food Network or whatever. And like, they're going to zoom into most of the movie, but then like interact with the actors at one point. It's always weird and it's still weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are elements of this movie that I really enjoy, such as the leads. I thought in this one specific case, the high school rival thing, I felt like actually works, and like the conversations that they had, I enjoyed. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It fell flat. It just felt like. It felt like a movie that somehow ended up on Discovery Plus. I don't know how that happens. And so, yeah,
Everybody kept passing.
A skosh of Christmas maybe, but not overwhelming. So, and the Gingerbread House just wasn't that good. And so, I don't know, it was what it was. But it's not my favorite Gingerbread House competition movie that I've ever seen. So do with that what you will.
Yeah.
Bran wanted the gingerbread to grant wishes.
Hey, don't tempt me with a good time, Alonzo.
Yeah, thanks. I hate it. It is. God, it's boring, guys. It is somehow this felt like a party planning movie. I don't know how it did, but it felt like a party planning movie that I've seen 1,000 times. It is really, really bad. And the fact that they have all this time and come up the ultimate wait what, I won't spoil, but come up with what they come up with for this competition, it just showcases what we're working with. It felt like a vehicle for Discovery Plus. Like everybody passing this movie, it's like, well, we could put Duff in it and maybe make it like a thing. And gosh, no. I don't want any part of it. It was really bad. I was bored to tears. It was 45 minutes in and I was appalled that we had half of this movie left. So yeah, hard out for me. Sorry. And the leads are fine, but it's just not, and you're 100% right. Like culturally just drain it all out. Like let's make sure no one can have a hint that if your eyes were closed, you would have no idea that anyone looked, sounded, or grew up any differently or had a different experience than anybody else.
It's like they threw in the multicolored tile and they were like, is that enough? Will that do it?
Oh my God.
Is that a thing?
We're growing. We put another tile down. You see that?
You see that? See
That's
that?
right.
Maybe one day the culture will leak into the bakery, the baked goods itself. But
Let's not get crazy.
let's not
let's not get
one
crazy.
tile at a time. Alonzo, let's go to the feels. Any feels for you?
Well, dessert feels certainly early on like that. There's some
My
real-
opening montage. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, that's some pastry porn right there, which I was here for that. You're right. The two of them make eyes at each other like nobody's business.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
I think Fireman's carries a lot of this movie to where it needs to be. I like the fact that when they're doing the actual City Hall gingerbread house, you get a baking montage in which specific things happen. You get steps, you get like this happens, and then this happens, and this happens, as opposed to most baking montages, which are like, haha, we're throwing flour at each other.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
we're kneading something, and then there's chips, and something is, labeled a camera if it's the sour cream or the whatever it is where we have product placement for. This one felt like what a montage traditionally does in cinema, which is to compress time through like showing you the steps by which a thing is accomplished. And we don't get that a lot in these movies, so I felt the need to point that out. Of course, baking lesbians, hooray for that. And I always appreciate a movie in which a job offer is made for the new year and not the day after Christmas.
Okay.
That's
I didn't
a
think
small
about some
thing,
of the
a
things that did
small
right.
thing, but I like to point that out.
Yeah. We saw Baking Lesbians live.
We did.
Phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Wow, what a show.
I like the baking stuff. And weirdly enough, I'm gonna sound I'm gonna sound like Brian Harold here, but he's not
I
with
wish
us.
there were there's more baking stuff in this movie.
I wish there was more baking stuff in this movie. Listen, we're talking about a Food Network themed.
Go with your strengths. Absolutely.
Yeah. The reason why I watch so much baking on Food Network during the holiday seasons for this. Like I love it. I love it. So I wanted more of that. I wanted more of that action. But the stuff that we did get, that was the only thing that really gave me feels. Aside from, is he like when he is there more when he's pushing the flour in? Does he mean something else? So that worked. Yeah. Dan?
The more I will say this, if there's more baking stuff, then there's less Duff acting. And so
that's
there
tough.
is that
That's tough.
that does help that curve a little bit. Yeah, I don't really have anything here. Brand.
What's great is that Duff was just being Duff and his performance still fell flat. Like he's just
he was playing himself.
Yeah, it was like,
which is harder than it looks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like he just, man, it was tough out there for him.
Well, he
and
didn't
I
get
liked
to
him.
try any food.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah.
That's right.
We don't watch Duff for hosting. We watch Duff to watch Duff eat food.
Yeah, we'll bake a bunch of really cool stuff.
Yeah, and then let's eat it.
To make science art,
Right.
if you will.
It's art. Science. What is it? Can it be both? No. No. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the wait, what, and the what discuss. Let's discover lots to discover here.
Discovery Minus.
Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Hopefully you're watching this on the follow. Let's do this. Let's do the wait what's. We're talking about a gingerbread Christmas. I just wish the name was a little bit more generic because then it would have matched the movie. But no, this name is Alonzo. What you waiting? What you waiting?
Oh, brother. Okay. So early on, we get the scene with cookbook lady who is the dead mom's best friend and who is kind of the, moves the plot along in this movie. It is an ongoing issue if you look at films and TV and where they talk about how there are cinematographers who know how to light a scene with a white person and a black person sharing a space without losing the black person in shadow. Like Oprah talks about this a lot. Like you have to get you have to shoot it the right way, you have to light it the right way. I have never seen a movie before in which a South Asian person and a black person are sharing the screen and the black person is lost in shadow. But they managed it. Way to go, guys. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Like she just disappears. Like it is so badly put together that sequence was crazy. The mother of wait what's here is if you hire a contractor and then discover that he's also a really good baker, maybe have him finish the contracting first and then come on
yeah.
and bake, or hire him as a baker and then get another contractor. But to expect this guy to be doing both at your flailing bakery is probably why your bakery is flailing.
That's right. That's why it's going so poorly, is you hired the contractor to be the baker at the same time.
There's only so many hours in the day for that. One of the big plot turns here is, oops, they break the clock tower and there's no way they can finish it in time. It's like, really? It's this tiny piece of.
I want to be clear, Alonzo. It took them a week to make that gingerbread house. It took them 7 days to make that that gingerbread house.
He is baking and contracting at the same time.
That's right.
But yeah, just like I would just look. It's like, it's this big. Like, how long can it take? And then of course they managed to work it out anyway. So hooray for that. It is kind of a bold choice in this movie. I know a lot of women friends of mine talk about how they watch movies like this because women's experiences are centered. It is about women pursuing love, pursuing career, all that other kind of stuff. We get a female protagonist here who is pretty consistently wrong about everything. Like, she is hanging on to the high school like petty rivalry decades after she should have just let that one go. She's wrong in dealing with Baker contractor about his stuff. It's like she spends the latter half of the movie apologizing to everybody, and should. And that seemed really weird. And then after the whole thing with the Baker contractor, at the very end of the movie, where she's like, I know we need to work on things before we get together, and he immediately kisses her. I'm like, no, you do need to work on things. Y'all need to like have some actual conversations and work out some stuff. And it's not, don't kiss her yet. But it was too late. By that point, the train had left the station. And then I was kind of shocked when cookbook lady reemerges at the end and talks about how this gingerbread competition is this national event. I'm like, oh, so it's just a coincidence that everybody who's entered into it is from Chicago? Like, they're all like, everybody in that contest either met there or already knew the dead mom, or is the rival of the dead. I was like, who else is in this?
Everyone in the competition knew what their city hall looked like.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
So appealing. But yeah, I was like, it just felt like we couldn't like have a ringer from, LA or Dallas or something, just to like not make this be what is clearly a local competition that you have inflated into a national one because there are cameras. I don't know. That's all I got.
Oh, just that, huh?
I know, a few.
One of the shows that I have saved on my Philo DVR is Holiday Baking Championship on the Food Network. Now, the Holiday Baking Championship is wonderful because it's like, takes a couple months, and it's competitors that stay on, and then you narrow it down and you get the final people, and then you kind of fall in love with the bakers, and you have your favorites, and they're building the nice things. And this monster sits down in her bedroom, turns it on, and watches the last 20 seconds of the season and feels good about herself. We've put in the work. I have watched 2 months of Holiday Baking Championship. I'm the one who could have feels watching that show, not you. You can't just turn it on and watch the last 20 seconds.
This sounds personal.
It is personal.
She reads the last page of a mystery before she gets started.
Exactly. Monster. When he does his first baking, he does a lot of spinning, and they do a lot of spinning. I think this mainly for transitional purposes, but does it add anything? You think? Is that the special ingredient? He does a lot of spinning. He spins before they're frosted. He spins after they're frosted.
Science, man. I'm telling you, it's a sweet science.
It's a sweet science. You got to let it spin 3 times.
Right.
So if you overspin it,
no good.
It's no good.
It's the crystal dance.
I am fairly certain they steal some giant lollipops for no real good reason.
They do. He walks out with one, or she does. She walks out with a giant lollipop, doesn't pay for it.
And last but not least, the City Hall gingerbread house. I can't tell if it weighs nothing or weighs a lot.
It's good acting. That's good acting.
Dad,
right there.
Dad
Real
goes
good.
to help her, and Dad is like, "Hey," but it looks like it's easy, but it sounds hard, and I just don't know. It could weigh anything. Your guess is as good as mine, Dan.
Yeah, this movie is as boring as their gingerbread house. I just can't imagine entering a gingerbread house competition and this being your idea. I can't.
You didn't even add any like texture
It
to it.
looks so boring.
It's a lot of right angles.
I was going to say it's all 90-degree angles. There's a clock. There's a few
When they knock the clock off, we're like, yes,
they're going to build something exciting.
They're going to make it good.
No. Just
No,
plop
no,
it.
no.
Read, just same thing. We don't want to get too crazy. Want to make sure everything is, angular in a gingerbread house. There are so many gingerbread houses that look better than theirs. I mean, like so many, like not a few, like a lot.
She shouldn't have been a finalist.
But
The Panther Stadium one from Christmas Joy.
Oh, for
instance.
sure. We can call that for as many times as we need to call that back. That's a classic. But like the way they describe it is like she's a real architect. So like buildings matter. And at one point she uses this humdinger, which is buildings aren't just cement and glass to me. Thank God. There is so much more involved in building something than cement and glass. You're building some sort of torture chamber is what you're building.
I also include doors.
That's right. Like doors, insulation, drywall. Please tell me there's more to it than cement and glass. Please.
You don't want to see the toilets in there, trust me.
Yeah.
Cement and glass.
This guy has been working as a contractor / baker for this company, this bakery, and he has to be introduced to the owner of the bakery right across the street. He doesn't know. He's never been in there. He's never met nothing. Like he doesn't know who that is at all. But I think my favorite one, and I'll end with this, is that he comes in with a flannel and a thick Henley on, and he's out of breath, sweating. He's like, sorry, we were shooting hoops. It just got carried away. Bro, you were not shooting hoops. There is no world where you're not shooting hoops in flannel and Henley. Like that flannel's coming. You're not doing that. You're going to be more comfortable than that to shoot hoops. There's just no way.
Well, maybe he showered and then put on the Flinley, the Henley.
The
Flinley, I don't hate that.
The Flinley is
Flinley's not bad.
Put on the Flinley, and then you're still perspiring and the steam.
So
and
you
everything.
mean to tell me he was supposed to go to a meeting and he's shooting hoops and he's like, oh man, I've now gone into my shower time. So I've got to rush to shower now?
It makes as much sense as missing a meeting because I got distracted by shooting hoops after dropping my daughter at the pool.
Or shooting hoops in the Flinley. That would be ridiculous.
In the Flinley. Yeah, no, can't do that.
Yeah, and I've already questioned
You
it
wouldn't,
once, but
you
I just want to remind everyone that the house is boring and could have been built in an afternoon. It took them a week. I do want to be very clear about that. Yeah, with a kit. That's right.
It's time for Discovery Minus. Is that what we're landing on? Some things are missing. We'd like some answers to them. Let's find out. Alonzo, what are you still wondering about?
That their city hall had neither art nor science. I think it's fair to say.
Fair.
My Discovery Minus is basically like, it's nice that she's finally like begun some level of detente with her high school bestie / rival, but I think in the long run, there is just no being chums with the rival bakery across the street.
No.
Like you are out to destroy each other eventually, or at least to, not be destroyed by them. I think a chilly cordiality is the best that we can hope for here.
But
given the position of things.
Mine is kind of the same thing, so I'll just go. But mine is just like the town just ain't big enough for the both of them.
Across the street?
Like legitimately,
The dust is going to settle.
Neither of them won the 100 large.
Right.
They both are banking on this TV appearance and I believe like a book royalty.
Their upcoming book, yeah.
And at some point, that money, we know book royalties will last a long time. At some point, that money will be gone. And the best bakery will still win.
Are you talking about I'll Be Home for Christmas movies and those royalties?
Yeah. And or when's it going to be Christmas again?
Wow.
We have two you could choose.
I mean,
from.
the royalties they flooded. It's
They
hard
flood-
to keep
it's
them all
hard to-
straight.
that's right.
Mm.
Buy one. We won't even take the royalties if you buy one.
I will.
So yeah, I just don't know how this helps anything. No one got independently wealthy, and if they both did, why would they continue to just kind of grind themselves into nubs by working against each other as rival bakers across the street from each other?
You know, these towns with the two indie bakeries and then the two indie toy stores, and
Of
you
course,
know, Christmas
it happens to the best
and-
of us. That's
It
right.
happens.
Cinnabon's going to open up in the corner. They're going to be out of luck.
I had a similar thing, so I will go to what other one. I'm worried about the dad because not his kitchen wasn't just like a couple things are breaking. There was like stuff falling off the wall, dangling over top of his workspace, and he was doing nothing about it. He was letting it dangle. He was letting stuff just like do whatever around his bakery.
Man.
My guy's struggle bus. Like that's, you got to do something, like take the thing off the wall. You can't just let it just continue to hang.
He's baking when he should be contracting. He's shooting hoops when he should be baking. Like, get it together, man. Like, those puppy dog eyes are only going to take you so far.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think I don't.
It's a tough character
yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's happening.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Next week,
Shudder?
yeah, we're doing a Shudder movie
Yeah, we are.
called Christmas Bloody Christmas.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, not anymore. Hey. Christmas Bloody Christmas on the Shudder. Looking forward to it. A little Christmas slasher film. Is that what we're getting out of this? We'll find out. Join us if you want to. Either way, watch this
Join us if
show.
you want to.
I'm
It's
saying
good.
join
Stop-
us in
stop
watching the join us in watching the movie. What did
You will join
our
us here.
show? Our show is necessary.
Yes.
You can you can
Your call.
before that you can do whatever you want to. All right. Until next time, maybe the first one you, hey? Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.